Everybody, happy Wednesday. What a gorgeous day again today. We've had such a great stretch, haven't we? Got some changes coming for the weekend. Ella Dorsey says, finally, we're going to see some rain. I know you don't want it in time for the weekend, but you don't want a drought either. And the other big change that you're going to see is those temperatures are really going to drop. So those gorgeous 70s and even 80 that we're going to see today, you can say bye-bye to that for now, but that's okay. You know what? It was a really pretty day yesterday for Election Day, too. So our top story today, what we can tell you, is we want to bring you up to date on election results. This election didn't get a lot of attention. You know, usually it's those statewide and national elections that get most of the attention. Yesterday it was mostly local races for mayor in a lot of different communities, along with an important election for the Atlanta School Board. And you're going, well, why is that so important? Well, you know what? They make major decisions about what goes on in your children's schools. And they also have a really big decision to make here in Atlanta on selecting a new schools superintendent. So Atlanta voters decided who they want on that school board, and the new board does have some really important issues to tackle as soon as they start work. Atlanta News First's Bridget Spencer takes a look.
There were 5 seats up for grabs. The majority of these seats are being held by incumbents. Former Fulton County Superintendent Ken Zeff is the new face. He was elected as the District 3 representative. He ran against incumbent Michelle Olympiadis. For District 5, incumbent Erica Mitchell secured 70% of the vote against Raynard Johnson. Incumbent Tamara Jones, she won the majority of the votes in District 7, but it was close. We're likely to see a runoff there. And Jessica Johnson wins in District 9. District 1's Katie Howard ran unopposed, so she will keep that seat. This board has a big responsibility overseeing 50,000 kids, and they're going to be responsible for a $1.6 billion budget. They will also have to hire a new superintendent. And last summer, the board decided not to renew Lisa Herring's contract, bringing in Dr. Danielle Battle in the interim. Now they're being particular about who they're going to put in place permanently.
All of us are looking for the perfect fit, and I don't know what that really means. I believe that you get a superintendent that does the priority of the board, and right now our priority is literacy, so we really have to focus on a superintendent that is literacy focused, that is student focused.
This new board will have to hit the ground running. They plan to get a new superintendent put in place by next summer. In downtown Atlanta, Bridget Spencer, Atlanta News First.
So that's at least, that's one of the election stories that we're watching for you. For the very latest, of course, you can go over to atlantanewsfirst.com, and that way you've got a list of all of the other people who won their seats for mayor in a number of communities around our area. The fighting in Israel continues, the fighting between Israel and Hamas, and it really has touched us here at home, too. We told you yesterday about a 20-year-old woman from Dunwoody who was killed in Israel. This is Rose Lubin. We're learning a little bit more about who she was. She was an all-star athlete at Dunwoody High School. She was a member of the school's wrestling team, flag football team, and also cheer. According to Israeli press, Lubin was killed during a stabbing attack that happened near one of the border gates on Monday. And we've been talking to people who knew and loved Rose Lubin and say it was absolutely her dream to be in Israel.
From the day I met her, she told me she was going to Israel, that when she graduated, that's what she was doing. I've lost touch with her in the last few years, but the first year she was there, she texted me and said, "I'm so happy. I'm where I'm supposed to be."
Sometimes you just know exactly where you're supposed to be, and apparently Rose Lubin did know that. Her funeral is set for Thursday, and it'll take place in Jerusalem. So that story hitting us here at home as well. This time of year, People Magazine, okay, it's been happening since 1985. They come out with their Sexiest Man Alive issue. So let's take a look at who this year's winner is, okay? What do you think? It's Patrick Dempsey. He's been named People Magazine's Sexiest Man Alive after he got the news. The Bridget Jones's baby actor, he's 57 years old, by the way, told People Magazine he was completely shocked. I don't know. I wasn't quite so shocked. He's pretty hot, right? You can see more of the Sexiest Man Alive on the big screen coming up in December. That's always a lot of fun. I mean, they've had a bunch of different actors on the cover of that magazine. I mean, Brad Pitt's been on there. Let's see, Tom Selleck. Who else? Idris Elba, right? We've had George Clooney's been on there twice. That's what I say. Don Shipman.
I've been on there?
Have you been on there? Did they contact you about this?
That's not happening.
That's always a fun issue, though, right? It's
is
a
fun.
talker. It gets
Yeah.
all of us talking about different
Yeah.
things, right?
Exactly.
Hey, I loved your story that you talked about today on our morning show. Tell us about it.
Okay, so it's about an art show that's coming up this weekend on Sunday.
Okay.
At the Distillery of Modern Art. If you've never been, you've got to check it out because it's a distillery, one. But when you walk through the distillery, they have it set up like an art gallery. So it really is quite beautiful.
Is that some of the art that you're going to see there?
That's some of the art you will see, and that's some of the art that's being donated this weekend because they're holding an art show this weekend. 35 artists are going to be in attendance, and they're going to be giving away some of their works of art. And they're benefiting this guy from California. You see him right there. This is him doing some kickboxing, and he is.
That's V-Tran?
That is V-Tran.
Okay.
And he is in the process of, he has kidney disease,
Mm-hmm.
end stage kidney disease here. This is his bedroom, and this is where he goes through dialysis each and every day.
Every day?
12 hours. 12 hours of kidney dialysis there.
And he's still, I mean,
He's
wow.
still going strong. So I had a great conversation with
Mm-hmm.
him. He's really an incredible person. He actually got to know the person in charge of this art show by way of going to a Comic-Con convention.
So they just kind of ran into each other?
They ran into each other. They have stayed in touch. She told me about him, and she's like, you know what? I know he lives in California, but we wanted to get together here in Atlanta and find a way to help him out. So some of the money that's being raised from the event will go to him just to help offset costs with medical costs. And then they just want to raise awareness about kidney donation, how you
Right.
could become a donor, a living donor.
Right. That's amazing. I mean, you know, what I was thinking when I was listening to your story this morning and even just now that a random meeting really isn't a random meeting, is it? Like there's a greater purpose somehow, some way. You never know who you're going to run into and where that's going to go.
Exactly, and it's funny too because we get pitched stories all the time,
Right.
and I had done a story there at the distillery before, and she contacted me and said I really want to highlight this, and I'm like, who is he? He's from California.
Right.
He's not here in Atlanta. How am I gonna make this work? But he's really engaging. He's just an
Yeah, what was his
incredible-
attitude like?
He outgoing one,
Mm-hmm.
optimistic. I mean, he was diagnosed 3 years ago. His kidneys
Right.
essentially stopped working 3 years ago, and he's still plugging along. And
Does he actually box?
I mean, on a weekly basis.
Wow.
On a weekly basis, that's him boxing right there, and that's how he tries to stay fit.
Right.
And he wants to beat this. But bottom line, he's on that registry, and you know this. You were telling me that one of your friends was dealing with this. You could
Yes.
be on that registry for a number of years. So he's using social media. He's using his network of friends from around the country here.
Right.
To try to get the word out to find a match.
So I think I think this story, it's a twofold message. One, it's art and
Yeah.
it's connecting people and it's, just about the art culture and bringing attention to that. And then also the fact that, I guess it's threefold because then it's that connection of, that random meeting, which isn't so random.
Yes.
And then the importance of organ donation. So like on the back of your driver's license, you can put that, right?
Exactly, and in the web article, it's in the Atlanta News First app. I also
Mm-hmm.
put some links in there on where you can learn more about
Right.
being a living donor. There's
Yep.
links right in there. And one of the things too I wanted to mention is that one of the artists, I interviewed her as well, and actually the piece, the artwork that you can see right here. If you wanna, can you pop it up?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let me pop
one?
it up. Is it this one?
Yeah, she's donating that, and
That's beautiful.
It is beautiful, and she was telling me art should give back. That's a quote from her.
Okay.
And I thought that was so real. I mean,
Yeah.
that's exactly
Is that
what
big,
art
by
should
the way?
do.
How big is that piece of art?
It's massive.
I was
It is
going to say, it
massive.
looks really
yes.
big.
And it's textural too because
Okay.
she uses layers upon layers. I don't know all the terminology. but
Right.
yeah, she starts off with like one sheet of one color, and then
Okay.
she builds on that.
You know what's so cool? So, you probably did the same thing. When you were a little bit younger, you might have bought a poster or like faux art,
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
like
Oh, yeah.
from your Target.
Still got some in my house, probably.
I hear you. But little at a time, I've started collecting pieces that really speak to me.
Yeah.
And they literally make me happy.
Yes, exactly.
It's like I say, I want real art.
And the thing is, you know what? Not to go on a tangent here. But what we do in our house is we kind of move it around the house a little bit.
Right.
We don't keep it in one spot. You know, you put it in one spot for maybe 6 months and then move it.
And it makes you happy. It reminds you of
does.
something, and so that's awesome. Don, thank you so much.
The event going on from 1 to 5.
1 till 5.
Yep.
What day?
Sunday.
Sunday, 1 to 5, Sunday. More information on atlantanewsfirst.com. Hey, Don, enjoy your day.
You too.
I'm going to do the same because it's going to be absolutely gorgeous outside. We thank you for joining us today here on Atlanta News First Plus. The latest news, weather, and traffic coming your way at noon on Atlanta News First.